donate to the right side of the screen.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, do I need to pull up Facebook too?
Hi, guys, and welcome to Tog Talk Tuesday. I am your host, Jillian Varney, and today I have our very special guest, Carolyn Reese, back with us today. And Carolyn, I would love for you to introduce yourself and let everyone know what we will be discussing today.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. My name is Carolyn Reese. I own Social Vision LLC, which is a boutique marketing agency. And today we're going to go over social media audits. So basically reviewing your social media account, making sure that you're on track to hit your business goals, your social media goals for the year, and things like that.
So with that said, if anybody would love to volunteer their social media today to help our conversation, please do go ahead and drop your social media handle in the comments, because we will be taking a few different social media accounts and we'll take a peek at them with Carolyn. So Carolyn, what do you think about starting and telling everybody what exactly social media auditing is?
Yeah. So what a social media audit is you're basically going to go into your social accounts. You are going to literally look at every single post that you have, and you're kind of going to do a SWOT analysis of it. So you're going to check out your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and different threats that you have towards your social media. And then what you're going to do is, if you have a business plan, which I hope you guys all have a business plan, and kind of like your yearly goals, you're going to match up what you learn from that audit to your business plan to kind of optimize it and understand better what to do next. And are you on track to hit your goals? So this is kind of like the perfect time to do it, because if your fiscal year is on a calendar year like mine is, we're going into Q2. So we want to make sure that, or I guess we're already in Q2, heading up to Q3. So we want to make sure that your plan and your goals are basically on track to make for the year. So if your goal for the year is to, maybe a social goal is to like increase your following, but your overall business goal is to have 5 more shoots, or maybe like throw in another mini session that you want to book out, that's what we're going to compare it to. So we want to see where we're at along that pendulum.
We actually have a volunteer already. So Heini, I know on, I think both on Facebook and on Instagram, that is her same handle.
Okay,
so
I'm going to look
take
it up on Instagram if you don't mind. Little Dawn Photography, right? Oh, I spelled that wrong. Let's see if I can get you pulled up. Okay, and then just in the downtime to do this also, if you guys, I'll probably do just Instagram accounts just so I can look at them a little quicker. But is your profile photo, is that you with like a green background and maybe a green top or dress on? I'm gonna hope so.
Give her a second. I will look her up too.
Okay, cool. That's her. So I am having zero luck with my internet right now, but I do have it pulled up. I'm assuming I'm missing some things because your following is not popping up right away. Oh, there we go. Okay. So right off the bat, I love seeing that you have a business account or a creator account. That's super important. So having photographer in there. Having Little Dawn Photography, again, is awesome. It matches both your handle and your username. You have exactly what you do. So photo, family and portrait photographer, digital artist, and retoucher, Somerset. Now booking for June and July. Oh, are you in UK? Are you in Europe? Awesome. Okay, so some of the big things that I'm going to point out right now for your bio is, is Somerset where you live? What is Somerset?
I think she was
Right.
responded that, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. So let's bump that out so it's a little more noticeable. So you could do like a little pin drop and put like Somerset. You can put like located in. That's going to be something really big. And then also on top of that, even if you didn't want to do that, a lot of times there's spots that you can put in the location. So you can put in your physical location for it. Okay, cool. So yeah, I would definitely change that in your bio. Family portrait. That's awesome. I love seeing that you guys have your reels. All the covers are matching, which is great. Except for your behind the scenes. So I would personally for your reels either do change your behind the scenes cover to match the rest, or I would change all of them so they're like individual ones, maybe of you with the camera or a photo that you've done in the past. So I would definitely look into that. As far as just the layout of your grid, I'd say it's pretty consistent. I mean, you do kind of like your 3 photos every single time. I love that you're using carousels because that's definitely something that's needed right now. The one thing that I am seeing not come out, and maybe you just don't use them, is like any video. So Instagram right now, like the head of Instagram himself says that video is kind of the way to go. So if you can use some reels in here, especially, you'll get definitely more reach with it. You're going to have more engagement. And then from this too, I'm just looking at your hashtags quick. Um, book now, link my bio. That's good. I would just do an analysis of your hashtags and maybe add in some that are like location specific. So I'm based in the United States in Illinois. So all of mine are hashtag like Illinois marketer. And then I live specifically in Byron. So I'll put like Byron, Illinois. So that's just like a couple tags. So when people are maybe in your area, and I mean, I see it more and more now that people are going on their honeymoons and they want like to have a honeymoon photograph session. So that could be something good that you can do as well, especially since you're a family and portrait photographer. So that's just a quick analysis of it. But overall, I would say it's good. Just make those couple changes. Make sure you're engaging with people anytime that they comment on your uh, photos and kind of move forward with that.
That
So,
was
okay,
awesome.
I saw her put in a question about it looks bad on your profile grid. So what you can do for Reels is you can actually change the cover of it. So you don't have to use a cover from the video of the reel. So let's say you want to do like a behind the scenes of this fairy shoot or like an editing process of this fairy shoot. Do the very like final product, put that as the cover of it, and then obviously center it on the reel so it looks good on your grid, and then you're not going to have any issues with that.
It's a super smart tip because I think that is something that deters a lot of people from actually posting the reels right on their profile.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something that will help with branding. It's going to help keep kind of like your image. Obviously, as a photographer, we want to make sure that your guys' grids look well. I mean, that's going to be number one thing. And it doesn't need to necessarily be super cohesive and like that like most picture perfect ever grid, but to make sure that the product that you're putting out there, so the photograph that you're actually putting up there is that picture perfect photograph. That's definitely something that we need to keep in mind. So okay.
And Nicole, hello, we have another volunteer. And maybe before we start with Nicole's, then we can move into our next part of auditing and we can just touch on why it's so important to be doing this.
Yeah. So again, I'm going to kind of go back to your guys' business plan. So making sure that you're hitting your goals throughout the year is going to be super important. So making those, ooh, sorry, I got super distracted and I love the water photos, Nicole. Anyways, so making sure that we're hitting our goals. So you want to break that down. So if your SMART goal is to, again, I want to hit 10 new clients from the whole year that are making them recurring clients or something like that. We're going to break that down into quarters. So if we're going to do 10, that was a really bad idea. I'm just going to say we need 6 or not 6, 8 to make it easier for me. We need to hit 2 new clients every single quarter. So when we go back and look now that we're in quarter 2, okay, let's see let's break down our social media. What sales did I get from social media? Okay, I got 2 new clients for my social media accounts. That's what I wanted. Cool, I'm on track. If you got like 5, that's even better because now you're above your schedule. But that's like the biggest importance is just making sure that you are moving forward. You're being consistent with your brand. You're staying up with the trends. You are maybe not doing exactly what your competitors are doing, but you're at the same level as them. And that's kind of when you do your SWOT analysis that you're also not only looking at years, but you're looking at your competitors. So you're making sure that if, let's say, all anybody's doing right now is reels, really, because Instagram's going to video. So if your competitor is doing a million different reels and you can see like just their engagements up, their followings up, things like that, okay, that's something that you want to look into. And that would be kind of like your opportunity and your SWOT. So you want to make sure like, okay, I do have an opportunity to do reels and they're not going to mess up my grid because I can do this. So that's just something that you guys can look into. But really what it comes down to is, am I staying like on top of trends? Am I aligning with my competitors? And what are kind of like my opportunities to continue to grow? Sorry. And am I on track to like meet my goals for the overall year? But I will jump into Nicole's really quick. Um, okay. Chasing light and beauty. Okay, so I like that you have Southwest Florida on here, Nicole. Again, the photographer, so that tells me that you have a business or a creator account, which is awesome. Boca Grande, LGI. I don't know what LGI is, but I'm going to assume that's somewhere in Florida also, right? I love. Okay, so carousels. Sorry, Nicole, I just saw your comment. Carousels are okay. I mean, reels, you still need them, but like carousels are good to be using right now too because Instagram will push those as well. Yes, it's an island in my area. Awesome. Okay, so as far as, I mean, I was like immediately, and partially because it's disgusting in Illinois, so just sunny water probably is going to easily catch my eye. But
It's true.
so I was really grabbed really quick just by your photos. Right off the bat. I mean, I love that you have this little fish, the fishing one. That was great. Um, it looks like, and okay, maybe I'm wrong with this. Hang on. Okay, that's carousel and that one's not. Okay. So it looks like you're using one photo and kind of splitting it out and doing the collage with it, which is great. And it's good for photographers specifically because you guys take lots of photos in your sessions. So it's a good way to show kind of like overall highlight from it. Um with that, and it looks like you're being really consistent with it. And it looks like the photos that you're doing, like the layout is being consistent. Just make sure that again, you are staying extremely consistent with this because if you do put like one random photo in there, it's going to mess up your entire grid. So just be very consistent, be very mindful with that. Again, yes, do reels if you can. Check your captions real quick. So just by looking at the first 3 captions, you don't have like any call to action in them. Every single post you do should have a call to action and it doesn't need to be boring. Like for these first 3 fishing ones, you could literally say like, where's your favorite place to fish in Southwest Florida, right? That's where you're at, Southwest Florida. Where's your favorite place to fish in Florida? Or like, what's the biggest fish you've ever caught or something like that. It doesn't necessarily need to be like link in bio to book a session with me. It could literally be something fun. So definitely look at that. Also, I see that you're putting your hashtags in the comments, which is fine, but in reality, they should be going into your caption. Per the head of Instagram, that's where you're going to get your SEO search. So like your keyword search. So when people look up, I'm going to look at one of your hashtags that you had. You had like fishing daily or pick of the day. That's going to be a better one for you because it lines a little bit more, but pick of the day. So if that's up in the caption and people are typing in pick of the day, it's going to populate a little bit more than it would when it's in the comments. So that's another really big thing. And then, I mean, you don't really need a lot of highlights. I do see that you have one testimonial. I don't know if you're a newer photographer, but I would definitely build that out if possible. Because if you just have one in a highlight, it's really not doing much for you, right? So I would definitely try to build that out. And then with your bio, I would do like a call to action. So you have like NicoleBennerPhotography.com. So if maybe it's like a schedule an appointment or something like that, I would put like schedule an appointment with like a pointing down or something. Just so people know to like click on that link and they can schedule, or it could be something else. I mean, I don't know what's on your website. So maybe you can't schedule through your website, but you could be like, check out spots that I photograph in, and then kind of put that like pointing down arrow.
Putting your reviews in your highlights is actually super smart. I have never considered doing that, but now I'm like, because on Instagram, then without having to go explore your Facebook, your website, or even Googling they can already kind of see your testimonies right off the bat and have a better feel for what your experience from your client's end would be. It's really great.
I mean,
great idea, guys.
not everybody looks through your highlights, but like if somebody finds you and they're like, oh my gosh, I need to know more about this person, that's when they're going to go through it. So that's when I always find myself like down the rabbit hole of like, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore because I'm just like going through all their highlight reels and it's like 50 weeks ago. And now I'm like knowing their whole life. But I mean, that's the best part of it is like when people are looking there, they know that this is someone that they probably want to work with.
So we have a question from Claudia, which I know is not exactly on topic, but I think that our topic kind of ties right into how you can really help yourself as a beginner. So I thought maybe we can pull her question up.
Yeah. So really it's consistency, which everybody's going to say, but it's not just being consistent. You need to have that quality content. So if you only have quality content for 2 posts a week, post twice a week and don't post anymore. It's okay, but make sure you're on your accounts. And it's a little, this is more, I mean, being consistent's good like across the board, but from an engagement standpoint, make sure that you're on Instagram a few times a day, like for at least a half hour. Like if you're going to split it up, do a half hour each and kind of like scroll through your search and find other photographers that fit into your niche. So if you are strictly wedding photography, find wedding photographers. If you're newborn or fine art photography or whatever else, find photographers that are in that niche and kind of go through their stuff. And if you find someone that you gravitate to, start liking their stuff, start commenting on them, give them a few times. And then like after a couple of days of doing that, then follow them yourself. That's going to help just like your engagement and like brand awareness because they're going to see you pop up more. And then hopefully they'll go over to your account. But like specifically to promote yourself, it's really be consistent. And it's not so much like everyone's always like, oh, be authentic. Like, yes, you want to be authentic especially if you're in a role where you're like, okay, I'm a new photographer too. So I need to build that clientele. You want to be authentic, but like really actually like want to build the relationship on social media because it's not just like the person that's sitting swearing because they're like, oh, I don't give a fuck. Like I'm going to swear, do this, do that, like whatever. It's the person that's doing that, but also like reaching out to their following and talking to them and responding to them. And if they DM them, they're there to help, things like that. And then as far as like promoting yourself, I mean, I don't know where you're at in like your career and your social media, but if you're new in your career, everybody hates saying this, but like do shit for free. Literally, like find some people, find what you like to do, ask for collabs. Maybe it's not even so much like you're collabing with another photographer, but you're talking to other photographers and kind of getting tips from them, or you're meeting, if you're a family portrait person, you're meeting with families in the community and be like, hey, I just want to do some, like, here's a card for me later. I'll send you guys the 5 photos I took or whatever. You go to the park and do it, something like that. But that's going to be really big. So especially like photography, service-based businesses, they're a lot on word of mouth. And people are like, I mean, I'm getting married soon. So it's always like, oh, wedding photographer, like who's your go-to person for this or that? And I mean, granted, like I already knew who I was going to because I'm in the service industry. So I know a lot of the people, but like all my friends, they're asking and I put out who to use, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to somebody that was like commented in that string. So that's going to be your biggest thing, is just like word of mouth, getting out there, making sure you're promoting like yourself on social media. You're doing some freebies if and when you can. And then you're meeting with people that are like aligned with you in your niche.
I definitely think what Carolyn said about word of mouth is absolutely true. That was probably some of the best business advice I was ever personally given, was that if you do business right, you'll never spend a dime advertising, because that word of mouth referral is the best type of referral. And that has been my experience in business. And I fully support that, because I think that there's a lot to be said about that. Absolutely. So, you guys, if you are just joining us, we are doing a few social media audits today with Carolyn. So, if we have any other brave viewers here, you feel free to comment your social media handle. We are specifically looking to do Instagram today, so feel free to pop that handle down into the comments and we will check out your social media. Carolyn, what else do you want to talk to our viewers about? Oh, we got one. Oh, Claudia's back quick. She's Jimmy John's fast.
Oh my God, I died when you said that to me the other day.
That's all I could think when people really quickly do stuff. I'm like, it's Jimmy John's fast. I'm so jealous of all these photographers in Florida right now.
I know, me too. You guys, it's it's literally like maybe 40 degrees, rainy. It's nasty up
Yeah, we
here.
have had an awful season here in Illinois, and then I don't know if you saw, Carolyn, but it's going to jump right into the high 70s next week. Then it's like no spring here.
Of course. Wait, am I spelling this wrong? Oh yeah, I'm definitely. I love how much I'm like trusted to spell these right, because I've spelled everybody's wrong so far. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm gonna say change your handle because it's super long and I definitely spelled things wrong like 4 different times. I would, like, if you want to do like, I don't even know, I'd have to think about it, but Finite Photog Claudia, or Claudia Finite Photog, something like that, whatever. I would definitely do that to shorten it. Right now your username is just your actual name, which is great, but I would put like, in addition to shortening that handle, I'd put Claudia Lopez dash like photographer or family photographer, something like that. If you guys look at my, I don't even know what my Instagram says. Talking about do audits, and I'm like, what does mine say? I'm pretty sure mine's like Carolyn. Okay, so mine says Carolyn social media expert. So if you did yours as like Claudia family portrait photographer, family photographer, that's gonna help. Definitely change your account from a personal, because it looks like it's on personal. Correct me if I'm wrong, but change it from personal and put it into either a business or creator, and make sure that you're saying what industry you're in. So photography, photographer. And then, I mean, you don't need a website. In my opinion, like, you need a website, but you don't need a website. It just, again, depends on where you're at in your career. But I would definitely change up your bio as well. So it's not like where it says life, dot, 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 portraits, dot, 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 family, like maybe line break and then really make that for bookings and then your email stand out. So maybe you do life, line break, portraits, line break, families, and then do like another line break with an emoji and then say for bookings and then put your email again. So that's definitely for your bio. Definitely start adding captions to your photos right now. And then also, I see that you haven't posted since April 14th, which is fine. That's fine. But again, we need to be sure that we're being consistent. So if you're not posting regularly, are you on engaging with people regularly? And if, as well as, I mean, again, I don't know where you're at in your career journey, but if you're being booked out, maybe even if it's once a week, like use advantage of all of those photos and make extra posts out of it. So the last one is from the 14th, which with the little Easter bunny baby. So maybe add in a couple more of that one, or pull out an old one and do like a throwback or a way back Wednesday post and just be like, oh, I loved shooting here. But definitely add in those captions, definitely add in a call to action, definitely take advantage of using hashtags. With smaller accounts, be strategic about your hashtags, because using like hashtag photographer, hashtag, I think you said you're in Miami. So, yep, Miami. So hashtag like Miami, those are heavily used hashtags. So you need to also find some that are like lower used. And when I say lower used, I mean like hashtags with maybe 100 or less than 1,000 or something like that. So do a good mix of that when you're using your hashtags, just because you are a smaller account and you haven't been active as long. But that's what I got for you.
That's good. And I wanted to talk about like the website thing for a second, because although I agree, like nowadays, I don't know that everybody even makes it to your website. I just wanted to see what your thoughts are on this, because I know that like when I'm researching a business or looking for some type of service, one thing that is actually something that'll turn me away from hiring them is if they don't have a website. I kind of feel like maybe they're not legitimate. And that always makes me like a little wary. Like I'm not sure about them. I don't see them anywhere other than on Facebook. And I just wanted to see how you felt about that. That's the only reason I could really think that it's important to have one. And that's just off of my
Yeah.
own experience, though.
Yeah. It's hard for me to say because I design and develop websites. So I'm always like, yeah, build that website, because it's like a great return on investment for me. But if you're new in your career, like I'm not saying you 100% don't need it, but it's not going to kill your business if you don't have it. Like, yes, once you hit like 2-3 years and like, yeah, let's get something. Like, it doesn't need to be this like huge established website, but let's get like a 1 or 2 pager out there. It's But again, it just depends on where you're at. I mean, I see Etsy shops that don't have websites and they use Etsy as their website, which is totally fine if you want to use like a smug mug or something like that as your website. Sorry. Totally do it. But definitely it's going to depend on where you're at in your career. I didn't have a website for, I don't know, the first like 3 years of my business, because people were just coming to me. Like I set my business up so backwards. Like I just had an influx of people and I was like, oh, cool. I don't need anything. And then like once things started to slow down and I like got a hand of like, okay, how am I going to set up my processes and stuff? That's when I started building a website. But again, I was 2 or 3 years into my business before I ever touched it. And I work in digital marketing. Like I did not care. So it's really going to be dependent on that, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be a huge photographer and you're shooting for magazines or something, like you're going to be at a certain level where it's like, okay, I need it. And I feel like business owners know when that happens, not always, but like a good rule of thumb is if it's in your first year, maybe your second year, like it's not going to make or break you if you don't have it. And that's, of course, my opinion. Other people are going to say something totally different. If you talk to just a website developer, they're going to be like, no, you need it the second you start. I mean, I started and I booked my domain right away. So I made my LLC, I got a domain, and I saved all of my social handles, but I didn't start a website right away. I waited.
Yeah.
But
I think in photography, the only main reason I think that it could help you is that I think especially early in your career and not so much when you're established, you'll have people push back on paying you a retainer. And I think that that's like the type of situation where having the website established might make them feel more comfortable, because then they have like multiple ways of finding you. Like, okay, they exist, they're out there. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, and I could see where somebody who is not experienced in hiring a photographer is like, oh, I'm going to hand you $400 before I meet you. So that's like, I'll just say from like in our industry, that might be a way to make the client feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I agree that I
Well,
don't know how much I actually use my website other than it being
yeah.
there for that reason.
Something that I've loved too, and this is again like going back to the wedding photography, like I can't tell you, I was just over talking to vendors. I mean, it was more so like this was from like finding a venue aspect over like a photographer, or I mean even a videographer, because I didn't have one of those in my back pocket. But I the ones that had calendars on their website, and I could just be like, okay, here's our date. Oop, they're booked, or oh, they're not. Awesome. So I didn't actually have to like waste my time and contact them for them to be like, oh, no, we don't have it. And we don't have any recommendations for you. Like it was just way nicer. So that's definitely like a plus of having a website, especially if you're on the wedding side, in my opinion. Sorry. Well, my dog just came in my room. So, okay. So we have another one up. Melissa, is this Instagram as well? I'm hoping. Life.
She said, yes, that's her Instagram.
Cool. Thank you. Colorado newborn photographer. Love that that popped up without me even needing to touch your profile. Like that's awesome. High five for that. Okay, so you have a business and or creator account, which is great. I really don't. Oh my gosh, I'm happy for this. One thing that I do want to pull out right now is um the hashtags, the maternity photos, newborn photos and children photos, the hashtags in your bio. That's not doing much for you except for pulling people off your Instagram account. So I would take that out. So it's a little weird because it's a little repetitive. So you have maternity, newborn, children, photographer for the second time, then hashtag maternity photos, hashtag newborn photos, hashtag children photos. I love the emojis because I'm all about emojis in my bio. So maybe instead of, I would take out your first maternity, newborn, children by line, take out that photographer line because it says Colorado newborn photographer, and then it's going to say photographer because you have your business account. I would keep the maternity, the newborn, and the children photos with your emojis, but get rid of the hashtag, and then get rid of that Facebook link because nobody's going to be able, you can't click it. So it's not doing anything for you, and nobody's going to like type that in to look for you. They might go to Facebook and type it in, but they're not going to like type in that URL. So I would say just get rid of that, but maybe add a call to action. So do like book with me here, or even if you wanted to change, like maybe people book with you through Facebook, you do it like via Facebook Messenger. Say like DM me by booking on Facebook, and then do your Facebook link instead of your website link. But I love that you have Colorado newborn photographer right off the bat. That's awesome. Happy day.
What Carolyn was just saying too about actually not being able to click those links, I think that goes back to what she was telling Claudia also about making sure that your user, like your handles are easy. Like my business name is also kind of long. It's Jillian Varney, Fine Art Photography. That's like a mouthful and it's a whole lot to type. So all of my handles across the board, even my website, Jillian Fine Art. I just simplified all of it. Jillian Fine Art. It's easy to say, to hear, to type. Just make it super simple. Even if that's not like your full business name, it'll get them where you're going, where you want them to go, I should say.
Yeah. The other two things, so I like that you have what to wear as a highlight. That's cute. I don't know what happy day is. So that one's throwing me off a little bit. So I would either say, I don't know if it's, I don't want to turn the sound on, but I don't know if it's like news, maybe like news that you have coming on, but I would either get rid of that highlight depending on what the story is in there, or I would change the title of it. I love the cake smash thing. That one's so cute. And then as far as your content, so I'm going to go kind of back to like, you don't have the prettiest feed ever, which is great because you have great photos. Like, it's not all about being like the picture perfect feed. I love that you have a good mix, and I love that you're adding in some like graphics in there with reviews. That's something really big. That's something that I do myself, and I push like my coaching clients and like clients that I do full service marketing for to do. So push it out there so people can see. If you wanted to do another highlight with it, I mean, you can feel free to do so. And I love the tips that you're doing. So that's great. Like this little how to plan a cake smash for a 1-year-old. That's perfect because some parents are going to go and like, I mean, I'm sure I would, I don't have kids, but I'm sure I'd be the mom that like brings one outfit and I'm like, oh, dang, we can't do anything else. Awesome. So those are, I mean, those are great because even though you think it might be something really common sense, I mean, I'm sure because you have that tip on there, somebody's done something that you're like, probably shouldn't have done that. So those are great. I love the 5 reasons to get milestones. That's awesome. I mean, from a content standpoint, I'd say you're pretty spot on. You're using, I would add some call to actions into your caption, and then maybe change up some of these hashtags. Because I mean, I like that you have Colorado photographer and then Colorado photographers because one probably is more than the other. But just keep an eye on that because again, you have a good following, but with still under 2,000, it's going to be hard to kind of populate in your in the search function when you're using something that billions and billions of people use. But overall, I would say this is, I mean, good job. You're using carousels, you're using reels and videos. You have a good kind of mix of photos and like graphics. So high five. Good job.
And
Ooh,
Carolyn, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on before we move on to our next account?
I would say the biggest thing to touch on is just like physically how to do the audit. And so I do have a checklist for you guys. I'm gonna paste the link real quick. I probably should have had this ready, but I didn't. So
Puppers is very sad.
no, I'm so sorry, guys.
No, I enjoy puppy noises.
Okay. So, do you know how to comment into this, Jill? Like, can
I think that how about, do you want to text it to me and I'll comment it?
Yeah, that works. But so I have this checklist and I'll put it on there for you guys. It is for free, so don't think we're selling anything right now. But I will have Jill put this in the comment. But basically, it's just kind of going over like your checklist of how to do an audit. So your first and foremost thing is like get an Excel sheet together And this Excel sheet is going to have every single social account that you have, whether it's an official account or you have a bunch of people that want to be you and you have fake accounts. Find them all, link them, put like how many followings there are. Do you want me to put this in your Instagram DM? Is that okay? Or
Yeah,
Facebook?
let's try that. Hopefully it'll let me copy it. Yeah, it should. Okay.
Um, so we want to do both, like actually your accounts and also kind of if there are any fake accounts. Make sure that you're linking, put stuff about your bio in it, put your handle, put your following. If you have the analytics, which you should, because if you have a business account on Facebook, on Instagram, on any profile, it's going to give you analytics. So I would pull in kind of like your engagement and then also your reach, and then talk about your last day that you've posted. So maybe the last day you posted when you go to do this audit was April 30th. And is it consistent because you post every third day, or is it April 30th because you just decide you're like not planning ahead and you just haven't posted? So that's going to be kind of your first step. Your second step, again, we're going to want to check for the completion on all of these accounts. So is it a business account? Do I have my industry filled out? Do I have my location filled out? Is it going, are any links going directly where I want it to say? Do I have a bio and is it filled out correctly and up to date? Depending on the platform, like TikTok, you can have a link in bio, and then you can also connect to, I think you can connect to your YouTube now too, but your Instagram and your YouTube, like, do I have to set those up and kind of just make sure it's all seamless, it's all working correctly? Then we're going to kind of go into, after we find all of your accounts, the fake accounts, we're making sure that the bios are set up correctly. We're going to go through just like comparing your business plan and your goals to how it's going on social media and those analytics. So if social media, your goal was to pull in again for new clients, you want to increase your engagement, increase that, like see, okay, this was my SMART goal. So 4 new clients, we're in quarter 2. I have 1 new client for sure, but I had 2 new people book with me that I've never seen before through social media. So you can kind of keep that on track. Again, we're going to kind of like find those 4 to 8 different competitors, and they can be direct or indirect. So if you're a family photographer, pull through those and find like the 4 closest competitors to you. And then also on top of that, like be like, yeah, I'm not in weddings, but I'm going to go look at some wedding photography because wedding might also drip into family photography. Or maybe Jill is like, you're a huge fangirl over Jill. So you're going to go look at her account. And even though she does fine art, she's in a totally different state than you. You're going to look at her just to see what she does and kind of compare it to what you're already doing. So when you're comparing, you're going to compare and contrast your imagery, the type of content. So is it a video? Is it a reel? Is it a carousel or just like a single still image? Is there a caption? What hashtags are they using? Are they using their location when it asks you for a location when you do a photo on Instagram? What is their engagement like? Are they responding to the comments or not? And just kind of follow that up with you and then compare it to what you're doing. So do you guys have a similar mix of video to photo to reel as your competitors? Do you have around the same engagement? Are you responding to all of the comments, but maybe they aren't? And just kind of do that. And then from that, like, again, we're going to go back to our SWOT and we can kind of make notes from that. And then again, we just want to note the tracked competitors. So again, in your Excel spreadsheet, I would do another tab on it, put your competitors down, really like understand that. And then you don't have to track this on like a monthly basis, but I'd say at least once a quarter, go and check out, see what your competitors are doing, making sure that your specific goals are actually being met through social media, and kind of go from there. And that's how you're going to tweak your posting strategy or tweak your branding or tweak your content strategy and kind of make it fit so it aligns with your competitors. Because if your competitors, let's say, again, I'm going to go back to family photography, your direct competitors are only posting like family photos and their engagement sky high, but you're posting like graphics and not always your family photos, and your engagement's low, like that might be the issue. So kind of go in and kind of restructure that content, restructure the posting, restructure the strategy, and then start implementing that. See how your results change.
That's like a ton of really good information there. So I hope that you guys were able to grab that. All of the things that you're hearing Carolyn talk about today too on each different account. I know that even like as she's talking about this, I'm thinking in the back of my mind what I need to go do and tweak my own. So definitely important to not only learn from our competitors, but even our friends during the lives right now. All of these little tips can help us all.
Yeah, and if you guys do have questions specifically like on anything that I just said, because I know it was just like a lot of word vomit, let me know. I can answer those too instead of doing like audits right now, because we have about 15 minutes left. So if there is specific questions on like, what do I look like? What do I look for on my competitors? Or maybe you didn't understand one of the processes that I said, let me know and we can jump in and answer that. But I do see that we have another handle up here. Is your name, is it, I don't want to say it because I know I'm going to mess it up. So I'm so sorry. Is it Elizeth? Elizeth?
I think also.
If you're still on, can you give me your actual handle versus that? Because I'm looking them up on my phone and I don't have the live up on my phone. And it looks like your Instagram URL is not optimized for your profile. But the next one, I see there's a Victoria. If you want to pull her up, I can pull that from there. Victoria.
Elizeth, if you do post your actual handle, not the link, we'll come back to you after we do this one.
Ooh, Victoria, do you have 3 accounts? Okay, so I have 3 accounts for you if this is actually you. I have a seniors, a portrait, and a wedding. She's 5. Oh my gosh, you have 5? Girl, that is, I mean, like I manage social media for a living, but I cannot imagine having to do 5 accounts just for myself. That's insane. Okay. Ignore seniors, it's dead. Okay. Okay, so I have just so many questions before I can even like audit your account. First off, I don't think, okay, it looks like your wedding one definitely is a business. The portrait one does not look like it. And I only have that one and the seniors come up. So maybe I'm missing a couple, but I'm going to look at the weddings one because that's the link that you sent me. Okay, so I like that you have your bio. I like that it says Victoria and then the wedding photographer. Portrait's newish. Okay. That you have message, contact. I love that you have book now because it just makes things a little more seamless. I'm going to click that and see what pops up. Okay, so when I click book now, it's telling me that it's not currently available. So I see that you do use Squarespace. That's the same platform I'm on. Check into that definitely. And if you don't want to use it, take it off the account. Chicago and the surrounding Midwest. I don't really know what the surrounding Midwest means. Like, are you going to go to Iowa or are you going to go like an hour outside of Chicago? So I mean, unless you would go to Iowa for the right person, I mean, shit, leave it then. But if you're really only going like an hour outside of Chicago, then I would kind of put maybe Chicago and suburb or Chicagoland photographer. Or
I think
I'm
for
sorry.
wedding photographers, it is pretty common for them to actually travel
Yeah,
like multi-states like this in our little, what do they call it, our tri-state area.
yeah. So as long as you're doing that, keep it. But definitely kind of hone in on that if you're not. I love that you have Woodstock. That's great. Midwest photographer creating art out of documented moto. Okay, that's great. Weddings, tips and advice. Okay, so I love that you have like consistent um highlight covers, and I like that they're all like a little bit different, so that's nice. What to wear for snowy engagement. That's great. I had no. Oh, okay. Friend doors. What is friend door? Friendrose? I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. Okay, and then so we're gonna go kind of back to you. So you have a bunch of um highlights that are just the cover. So if I'm saying this right, am I saying front doors right? Front door? I don't know. But that one is only the cover. Behind the scenes is only the cover. Same with inspiration, this or that. And your portraits. So I would either remove those or start populating those. And then as far as your grid, okay, I need to figure out what this is. Happy International. Is this a photo that you took or made? But back to that anyways. So in the grid, you can see it says like I am, and then I think it's like woman. I would change that so the I am woman fits all into that square. And the same thing with the 20 gene project. Make sure it fits into a square because on the grid it just looks a little inconsistent. Oh, I love that you have some of these engagements. Those are cute. I would also, I kind of want to go through yours a little more. So the reels that have just you as the photo is fine. But I don't, because I don't turn my, oh, I love that vintage camera. I'm so sorry. I'm like a squirrel when I do this. Because I don't know what the video is about, it's a little hard for me to give information on it. But I do like that you're using reels. That's awesome. I like that you are adding the location. I like that you're using good hashtags, but maybe fine tune them a little bit more, just to make sure you have a good healthy mix of like your really, really high hashtags and then your lower hashtags. But that's just some quick notes for it. Yeah, awesome. And two, just lastly, if you can get everything into one, like if you I can't speak. If you mainly do wedding photography and that's what you really like, I would just nix the other 5 accounts, unless it's like a personal family account, obviously. But yeah, don't make it confusing for your followers. Just have one nice, easy place. And if you do decide, like, I love weddings and I love portraits or I love family portraits, put that in there so you could do both instead of just having it wedding specific, unless that's all you want to focus on. And then you get like the family photos from the weddings or from word of mouth. So just fine tune that and understand like how you want to be seen and portrayed on social media and then move forward with it that way. Awesome.
Okay, Carolyn. And I know that we only have a few moments left, so we can either try to fit in that last social media account. Otherwise, you can go ahead and answer any questions or finish explaining anything they need to know about social media auditing.
Awesome. So I don't see any comments right now with questions, but you guys do have the link for the audit template. Again, it's free. I would highly suggest you guys jump on there and use it just for a quick and easy kind of overview of how to do your audit. And then because it is Small Business Week, I'm doing 30% off my coaching right now. You guys just have to book it before Friday. So as long as you book a free strategy call with me, Jacqueline, I think Jill put the link in above. Maybe I'm not sure if you
It
pinned
is.
it.
Yep. If you scroll up, you can see that it was posted in these comments.
But it's my website, which is socialvisionllc.com, and then /templates, and you can find it. It's that first one right there. It'll say social media audit checklist. But anyways, so it is Small Business Week. So I am giving 30% off my coaching, which means I'm going to bring you guys all of the tools, all of the knowledge, but you guys get to implement it yourself. So it's definitely cheaper than my full service marketing price. And then you get an extra 30% off because it's Small Business Week. I just need you guys to book a free strategy call for that by Friday. So Friday at 11:59, the sale is over. So if you guys do want to take advantage of it, or at least just like understand better what it is from the site, if you guys go under work with us and then coaching programs, you'll see the one-on-one consulting. You can also get to the coaching programs from my homepage. And then you guys can kind of better understand what you're going to get out of it. It is a 6-month program, but again, it's 30% off right now. So normally it's $650 a month, and now it's whatever 30% off is. So like $450 something, I think.
She'll be coaching you on social media, not math. So
Yeah. I'm not a math person at all. No math whatsoever. But yeah, so whatever it ends up being, I don't know, 400 and some dollars instead of the normal 650. And then you do get an additional percent off if you do pay upfront. But if you guys are interested in it, just book a free call with me. You have a book an appointment all over my website. And then of course, when you kind of go into my coaching pages, it's offering for you to book a strategy call as well. But that's up until Friday, so don't sleep on it. It's a really good deal for you guys, and you can kind of really optimize your profiles more. If you guys don't want that and you'd rather just us meet and kind of deep dive more into your social media and your auditing, I do offer power hours as well, and those are $250, but you guys can book that online. You just have to pay up front.
And I know you guys have heard me say this, but again, especially if you're just starting off, but at any point in your career, I think that it's really, really important to be investing in yourself and your business. As much as you put into your business is what you're going to get out of it. So absolutely, if these are areas that you're struggling, I really encourage you to reach out to Carolyn, because she is our social media expert. And that's why we love to have her here on Tog Talk. And Carolyn, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. And guys, thank you for sharing your social media with us and being a little vulnerable, letting us pick into your social media. And I hope that Carolyn's tips can really help your social media accounts improve. This has been great, guys. And I will see you next Tuesday for next Tog Talk Tuesday.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good
Bye.
night, guys.